大家好，我是赵典。今天呢，我们穿行在雨中的香港，为你们带来一段截然不同的旅程。我们在去年11月份发布的 vivo X90 系列，凭借专业的影像能力以及全面的性能表现，收获了市场与口碑的双丰收。所以直到7个月之后的今天，它的总销量依然是 3.5K 到 5K 价位段的第一名。而我手上现在拿着的就是 X90 系列的全新产品 X90s。一会儿呢，我就会下车把它交给一位摄影师朋友。那么时间紧急，我们赶快划重点。X90s 呢带来了全新的清亮配色，它温柔轻盈，缎带云间呢如同水中的波纹，握着它就有一种清风徐来、凉意沁人的感觉。当然了，我们的华夏红、至黑以及告白4款完全不同的风格将会一同与大家见面。和颜值一起提升的还有性能。X90s 搭载了最新的行业顶级旗舰天玑9200 Plus， 5大联合研发 DDR5X UFS 4.0， 让它的跑分呢来到了165万。天玑调教还得看蓝照。天玑9200 Plus 还与我们的自研芯片 V2 双芯协同，配合我们首发在直板机上的 5G 载波聚合、WiFi 7以及120瓦双芯闪充、IP64 等等功能，让你获得快人一步的旗舰体验。最后呢，就是我们这次旅程的主角啦，影像。X90s 搭载了自研影像芯片 V2。蔡司 T 星光学镜头、VCS 仿生光谱大底主摄，以及 ALC 镀膜、50毫米黄金焦段人像、蔡司镜头包等等等等。当然，更重要的是，我们这一次带来了全新的色彩表达。在追求好看的 vivo 鲜明色彩以及追求真实的蔡司自然色彩之外，我们从传统的胶片当中汲取灵感，推出了全新的 vivo 质感色彩。让每一个人都能轻松地拍出浓郁而细腻的质感胶片，当然也非常适合这座城市。也不要忘记我们的全新美食模式以及人像模式，让生活因记录而多彩。时间呢刚刚好，直接公布价格，有点意外吧？我们的8+256价格是3999元，12+256呢4299元，12+512 4699元。现在预约就有机会赢取 X90s 的限量一镜入夏关夏联名礼盒。好了，我的摄影师朋友呢刚好也到了。Alex Webb 呢是我非常喜欢的一位摄影大师，数十年来他行走于世界各地，拍摄的作品呢以浓郁的色彩和复杂的构图闻名。今天 Alex 将会和我一起漫步于香港的街头，我也非常期待他眼中的香港能够与我们的 X90s 碰撞出怎样的火花，希望他能够用这台手机拍摄出他心目当中的香港代表作。Hi Alex。
How are you? Good to see you.
It's nice to see you.
Things are well?
Yeah. Things
Okay,
are very
good. Glad to hear it.
这就是香港的天气，非常的多变。我知道您之前也来过香港，不知道香港的哪些元素有给你留下非常深刻的印象？
I've always been impressed by the sort of density of Hong Kong, especially by its verticality. I love the way that these very tall buildings seem to be perched on hillsides. It's very unique and interesting. You know, I also think I love the sort of sense that Hong Kong is surrounded by water. Amazing cloud.
You
Going
want
top
to take
of
a
that
picture?
mountain. Yeah, sure. I'm intrigued by life in urban areas, you know, sort of the variety and richness of cities. And I'm also intrigued by places where there's a variety of different kinds of people, sometimes a variety of different cultures that come together that creates a kind of urban tapestry.
之前就有留意到您的作品当中的这个色彩非常的浓郁，那选择这样的一种表达方式有没有什么特殊的含义？
You know, I started out as a black and white photographer, but I found myself working in places in the tropics, especially Haiti and Mexico, where color is really critical to that world. There's a real sense that color is almost embedded in the cultures there.
Okay.
And so as a result, I began working in color, and I've done so ever since. I'm very intrigued by color, and I'm very intrigued by the emotional component of color. You know, sometimes a red is a threatening red, and sometimes it's a soothing red. It sort of depends on the situation. It also depends on the specific vision of the viewer as well as the photographer. There's an interesting quality of color here because it's, you know, it's not just about the color of the actual, you know, subjects. It's also the color of light. And that changes things tremendously. If it was very early morning and it was clear, you'd have this rich golden light falling through here, you know. In the middle of the day, if it was clear, it would be very white and colorless. So, you know, every place is different at different times of the day, and the color is different.
色彩的对撞是一个技术活，你又很擅长这个复杂的构图。那在这样的构图下，你是如何做到色彩的平衡？
Well, for me, it's not really a technical skill so much as about a feeling. I feel the relationship between colors. Like, for instance, here, you know, there's something very intriguing and startling about the relationship between the sort of orange red of the parrotfish and the blue background of the aquarium behind. That blue makes the orange red jump out at you. I'm often very interested in the way that different types of light come together and make a contrast.
我特别认同你说的，影像的表达往往开始于一个感受，一个感觉，感觉来了，情绪到了，就按下快门。
我知道，其实您非常喜欢用胶片来拍摄，用胶片拍摄是一种什么样的感觉？另外就是这样的胶片拍摄对于你影像的表达有没有什么特别的地方？
You know, I think sometimes the difference between the look of film and the look of digital is a little bit similar to what people who listen to music talk about the difference between CDs and vinyl. Vinyl is a little more like film. It has a little more depth, a little more soul. CDs are a little crisper, cleaner.
传统光学时代的这样的技术，这样的风格，现在这个移动影像的时代，我们通过技术能够去还原这样的胶片风格。
I think it's an interesting idea. I think that digital has its own characteristics, and you know, it's never going to be exactly the same as film. But I think it's an interesting idea trying to capture that.
经过这段时间的使用，
我相信您对移动影像技术的发展也有了一点感觉了。那您觉得技术的发展会有利于创作吗？
Well, I think with technological development come different possibilities. Not necessarily better possibilities, but different possibilities. we still appreciate Shakespeare's plays. We just happen to appreciate them probably in a different way than people in the 16th century. So art isn't progressive, but technology opens up new possibilities.
其实之前你在哈佛学的是历史和人文，但后来又做了摄影师，不知道这中间有没有什么故事？
Well, I think that knowing about what's been written and what's happened in the world inevitably informs a photographer like myself who photographs out on the streets and is often perceiving things that have to do with social issues. And I think that photojournalism on some level has been an incredible education, an education in seeing the world and seeing the way the world works, you know, as much, if not more, of an education as my university training.
摄影的本质是，我认为啊，是个人对这个世界的观察与思考的写照。
影像拓宽了这个世界的可能性，更多的人一起创作，我们看到的世界也就更广阔。
Wow, it's a nice view.
Yeah, I like yours.
3點幾啦，夠鐘影茶。Have some afternoon tea.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, now you're going to have to explain to me what things are.
香港最经典的这个菠萝油，你一定要尝一下。
Apple bread? This looks actually much better in the picture than it does in reality. Now we've taken our food picture.
在中国，我们有句老话叫“手机先吃”。
刚刚呢，我们有聊到移动影像技术带来的便捷性，那您怎么看这个事情呢？对于广大的摄影爱好者
，Any of us are always prepared to take photographs if we want to, if there's something interesting going on. And so that, you know, that's for me the huge advantage of a camera phone. What you're doing is you're providing a tool, and you know, and it's a very good tool, and each person can figure out how they want to use the tool to do their own photography. It's a different tool, and one sees the world differently according to whatever tool one uses.
经过这么长时间的使用，你对 vivo 质感色彩这个功能感觉怎么样？
I think that the color in the vivo phone is, you know, it's quite vibrant, and it has a very pleasing quality. They're well saturated. I mean, the colors have a kind of intensity that feels good. I mean, they've got weight to them. So I think they're good files. It's quite vivid, and it really works. I'm not an experienced camera phone person, and I find it easy to use. So I figure most people will find it easy to use.
So, Alex, 这趟旅程下来，你有没有拍到你的香港代表作呢？
Well, I maybe captured something or another about the way I perceive Hong Kong through my eyes. Not necessarily the way everyone perceives it, but the way I do.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
So,
Take care.
goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Photographs a little bit like, well, if you throw a pebble into a very still lake, there are these concentric rings that emanate outward after the pebble. And, you know, for each of us, those are the concentric rings of suggestion.